A year ago today, my life looked really stable from the outside. I had a partner, I had a job, I was traveling. Everything looked fine. But internally, my nervous system was under more pressure than I understood at the time. A lot of small things were stacking up. My dog suddenly needed emergency surgery, something I was not prepared for emotionally or financially. About 2,000 euros I didn't expect to spend. At the same time, my body started reacting in weird ways that I couldn't explain. My heart would start racing out of nowhere. I was having intense anxiety, heart palpitations, and there were extreme weeks where I was fainting regularly, sometimes a few times a week, sometimes more. Doctors were trying to figure out what was happening, but at the same time, none of it made any sense to me. Old surgical pain from years earlier started resurfacing in my body. I now understand that that can happen when the nervous system is under extreme stress. I didn't at the time. My work demands were piling up, tasks that required executive functioning that I barely had left. And there was also uncertainty in this country that had become my home. None of these things alone would have broken me. But altogether, they created a level of nervous system load that I didn't understand yet. Because at the time, I didn't know I was autistic. So I didn't know how to read the signals that my body was sending me. I just knew something felt very wrong. What I understand now is something many neurodivergent people eventually learn. When an autistic nervous system reaches overload, it stops prioritizing social performance. Tone control disappears. Politeness disappears. The brain shifts into survival mode. From the outside, that can look like conflict. It can look like someone being dismissive or rude or difficult. But from the inside, something very different is happening. The nervous system has exceeded its capacity. It's trying to reduce input, trying to slow everything down, trying to just survive the moment. A year ago, I didn't have language for any of that. So when those moments happened, I assumed I was doing something wrong. But learning about autism has changed how I see that entire period of my life. Because once you understand how a neurodivergent nervous system really works, you start recognizing patterns that were invisible before. You realize the problem wasn't that you were too sensitive. Your system was overloaded. It wasn't that you were too difficult. You had exceeded your capacity. And once you learn to recognize those signals, you can pause sooner, step away sooner, regulate before everything collapses. A year ago, I thought my life was falling apart. Now I understand something very different. My nervous system had been trying to warn me for a very long time. I just didn't know how to read the signals yet. And once you learn that language, you start recognizing those patterns everywhere, including inside yourself.